We haven't covered Tim Pool in a hot minute, and I haven't checked in on his channel in a while. I wish I had, though. It turns out he's kind of taken a pretty big hit on the viewership charts. Now, to be fair, this has happened to every political channel on YouTube, it seems. Like, even the biggest channels have seen a bit of a decrease in viewership, but this has been most pronounced on the right over the last year because, they're in the defensive position now. The incumbent party is the Republicans across the board. MAGA is getting not really what they want. They got the guy they want, but the guy isn't doing what they want. And so it's put them in a really hard position to defend and a very unfun place to be if you're the kind of person who consumes that kind of content. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Tim Pool's views have been down astronomically. Like, I've complained about my views dropping since, like, politics has kind of been suppressed by YouTube, it would seem, as of late. But his channel's taken a hit so severe, it makes mine, like, I almost feel like I've been ungrateful, because his channel's fucked. And in that realm, on that topic, he actually uploaded a video just a couple days ago called "It's Over, We're Cooked." With his like in the thumbnail, it's like his YouTube channel is on fire. So I don't know. This might be it. Let's see. Let's see what's up. His views haven't dropped far enough because he still has relevance. You should check his channels. You should check his channels. That's all I'll say. Anyway, let's see what Tim has to talk about.
I think that these are the end of times because, I was mentioning I watched this video where a guy was complaining about how he doesn't watch the news anymore. And I've heard this time and time again. And he was basically saying, why do I need to know about the Strait of Hormuz? What is this doing for me? He's like, today I Googled how long it takes to hard boil an egg. That helped me. Like, the Strait of Hormuz doesn't help me. I don't care. I was talking to some friends about Instagram. You go to Instagram videos, and what you're finding now is there used to be memes, meaning the ice bucket challenge. Everybody did their own version of the ice bucket challenge. It was fun to watch. Now, someone will tell a joke, and there's 8,000 versions of the same joke because everybody's just doing 100% the exact same thing. It's not memes anymore. So what's happening, I think, is social media, AI content. We are approaching cultural infinity. And what I mean by this is you can go onto any AI system and watch any video you want now. So you go back to 2006. YouTube's a novelty. People could upload videos. Charlie bit my finger. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was super excited. Like, this is crazy. Look at these videos.
You don't know how to hardboil an egg? You're a fucking adult, Tim. I think he's referring to a person who was talking about their own experience. That instead of watching the news, they chose to look up how to hardboil an egg, and that was more valuable, like a more valuable way to spend their time. And I won't lie, there's definitely been a big push by people to stop engaging with news content as much. And I won't lie, I obviously have a bias because my content is somewhat news-oriented. Like, I don't just cover the news, but some of my content is news. And I've definitely noticed that there's been, like, a dip in reliable viewership on that type of content. And I think that's in large part because people are really black-pilled about the state of the world right now, and they don't want to be caught up on it. And I guess I do have kind of a bias in that, I do that kind of news content, so I think, it's important to stay caught up on the news. I think there is value in it, and I think it is important not to let yourself fall behind in being informed on the relevant information. 'Cause news is just today's history. You go a few years into the future, and, the news is going to become history. That's going to be worth knowing if you're going to do things like vote, make decisions in the electoral process. There's definitely aspects of the news that matter, especially with the way Trump's handling the economy right now. You should probably know why the prices are fucked. I get why people are taking a break from news content, but I will agree with Tim here that there has been a weird shift away from it, but I'm sure it's temporary.
Videos I can watch. I started watching like crazy. Then you get movies. Then, advances to more in-depth content. We are now in the YouTube stage of AI. You want to watch Charlie Bit My Finger in the multiverse? You can watch an infinite, and I mean it, literally beyond your comprehension number of Charlie Bit My Finger's videos. You can be like, make the Charlie Bit My Finger video, but they're Asian. And then it will. Now make them black. Now make them made of cheese. Make one a telephone and one a chair. And it will just make those videos. So YouTube, OG, dead. In a year from now, we're going to have full movies. Or at least TV shows, because CDance 3 can already do TV shows.
Or you just tell it what you want to watch and it'll create it.
Yeah, the internal reporting, I should say the leak on the internal structures of the new CDance, because 2 is the one where I made the skate video, is that with a single prompt in 30.
I will say, I'm shocked at how many leftists are cool with AI slop. Like, I thought, you'll notice I don't really, negatively cover AI as much anymore, as a topic, largely because, believe it or not, the consensus among a fair decent amount of my subscriber base is they don't really care. They don't really dislike AI. I still get hate comments on the Dark Brandon videos where I'm talking about the AI slop channel that just does like lefty news content. But it's just like a view bot, like a view farm, like an AI view farm. And I still get hate comments from my own subs about covering that channel. And it's like, I guess y'all aren't as anti-AI as I thought. Shit. So, yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't really seem like hate for AI is as unanimous as you would think. Damn AI slop. I mean, yeah.
Seconds, it can make a 17-minute video.
Wow.
So that's an A plot. You can do an A plot, B plot. The point I was making is that you can say, I want an episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets a job as a lion tamer. And for the B plot, Lisa is going to a spelling bee and hits her head and misspells a word and then gets depressed about it. And then it'll go rendering 34-minute episode of The Simpsons, which is actually long for a Simpsons episode. That can be done now internally with CDANs. I believe right now, based on the reporting we've seen from like Gemini, they already can internally make feature-length films. It'll take about a day to render because they have unrestrained capacity to these systems.
Right.
However, it's too energy intensive to release to the public. So the public gets 8 to 15-second videos, but Grok is rapidly expanding. With Grok, I can render probably an hour of content. It just lets me go forever. I can keep going. It doesn't stop. So a year from now, imagine what happens. Disney is going to be, you don't need to go to the movies anymore.
Like, we actually are approaching a future where the entire planet is turned into just nonstop shelves, like massive pillars, like out of the Matrix, but instead of humans being used as batteries, it's data centers, consuming all the power.
You can just watch literally infinite movies. And video games will be there soon too. Google's Project Genie, which I was showing you as well, where you can
make crazy, Tim.
Any character in any place and play that character. So on this show, I've done Goku on Planet Namek and then made him fly around Planet Namek. Very rudimentary, very bad graphics. But again, a year or two from now, Baldur's Gate 4, you're going to say GTA 7, and it's going to auto-render it. So I will just mention one thing. There's a viral Instagram account called like White Mask or something. I don't know if you guys have seen this. He claims to be in the year 2055. And he films these videos. They're pretty freaky, where he's in like Shibuya in Japan. No one anywhere. He's walking around. There's no people. He has all these videos where he's walking through stores and there's no people. And it's very weird.
Yeah.
But he probably just waits till the right moment, films it, and then uploads it. The one thing I'll say about this is that he's uploaded videos showing PS7 games with GTA 7, and that's how you know it's fake. Aside from the fact he's not in 2055, and we know just because we're not idiots, but we will not have video games like GTA 7. It took GTA 6 15 years, and they haven't come out yet. A year from now, you'll just be able to go to an AI and say, using the GTA 6.
I don't think that's true. I'm gonna be real. I think it'll be like maybe 3 to 5 years before AI is good enough that it can actually generate like gameplay that's like real-time interactable, like and is consistent. Like when you're in a room and you do a full 360, the room is identical to how it was once you've done the full 360. That's something that a lot of these AIs can't do. I've seen that bug happen in a lot of videos on Twitter. But yeah, I don't know. Like, as far as being able to AI generate a whole game, hard to say. Hard to say. I don't believe that, TBH. I mean, I don't think people expected AI would get to where it is now. I don't know if you've seen, like, the really cutting-edge stuff, but it's scary, bro. Like, the current really cutting-edge AI that can make videos is really scary, because it is borderline impossible to tell. Borderline impossible. It's gotten really scary good with the cutting edge.
Engine, make a new storyline in a new city, GTA 7, and it'll go, done.
So, Tim, I mean, so how's that going to affect the entertainment industry? Because then you don't have to wait for Sound of Freedom 3. You could just say, take Sound of Freedom 1 and 2, let's say they make 2, and throw a plot together and make me Sound of Freedom 3.
My prediction is that there will be a brief period where, so I always shout out my friend Andy, who's like the biggest nerd on Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So he loves RPGs in these video games. Expedition 33 is like Game of the Year. It's a massive success. He's going to open up the AI and say, combine the fight mechanics of Expedition 33 with the limit break system Final Fantasy VII, change their names for copyright issues, and the story should be about a mage who's born in a village that was recently attacked by a dragon, and he's got to go on a quest to find a legendary staff, which is the only thing that can cast the magic strong enough to pierce the scales of the Archdragon King. And along the way, he finds a friend, and he basically then just lays out the characters, takes him a minute to say, renders the full game, does some play testing, then he says to the AI, no, that first fight was a little weak. Let's increase the power level of the characters. Done. Then he uploads the game. People go follow him on PlayStation, and they go, man, Andy has the best video games. I follow him all the time. He puts out a new Final Fantasy every week. That's what it's,
Well, if you did that, you would get copyright struck into oblivion. Oh my God, Square Enix. What Square Enix would do would be they would come across the ocean from Japan. They would find your house, descend upon it with SWAT teams and helicopters, and do to you what can only be described as legal rape. Square Enix will do that to you if you try to attempt what is being described here. I promise you, they will do that.
I think that will be where we'll be at in a year or two. So, like, look at Suno, for instance. You know, I was playing a bunch of the ad music. I write songs on my guitar. I'll play a song on my guitar right here in the morning, upload it to Suno, and click a button, and it renders a full production.
Dude, I think we are at what you would call the end of times, in that time is just motion. Time is only a human construct to explain relative motion of the Earth moving around. So it's everything in the universe is moving. But firstly, with video, we've created a time portal to the past. You can turn on a video and watch the past.
This guy's like brain fried. If you don't know, if you've never seen this guy on Timpool's show, he is a cartoon character.
Past in the present, which is freaky. Secondly, you're going to be able to go into the metaverse, into the AI.
No, metaverse is discontinued.
Okay, it's too bad, guys. Sorry, Mark, but you can go into that state of AI and have a 40-minute experience in 30 seconds. Time is falling apart as we know it.
That's
time dilation.
In the immediate,
have a 30-second experience.
That's not how time dilation works, or what it is, buddy. It's not when time is literally different between two observers. Like when you're experiencing it like that you have to go at ridiculous speeds to achieve that. You can't achieve that with VR unless we're like deep diving, which requires like some Neuralink shit that goes way beyond what Neuralink can do. Like way beyond.
In 5 minutes.
Right now, what Ian is talking about is
Bro's talking about time dilation, like when you smoke a lot of weed and you're like, did I smoke 3 minutes ago or 3 hours ago?
Sci-fi, maybe sometime in the future with Neuralink. What I'm talking about
you
is
can already watch videos at twice as fast, and then you'll get used to it.
Yes, but you're not going to be able to absorb a 40-minute function in 30 seconds unless we can write to Neuralink in a way that processes to your brain
And
faster.
like pharmaceutical psychedelics is kind of a thing that's on the horizon too.
So potentially, with artificial intelligence, the reason why the current investment model for AI is get as much money as we can, build as fast as we can, then we ask the AI how to profit. And I'm not kidding, that's actually their business model. The AI will tell us how to make this work. The idea with artificial superintelligence, you will be able to pick up a rock, take a pic every
Okay, I don't care about the AI
exactly how
talk.
you do it.
Let's
writing create fusion instant transhumanists. Human beings are the highest form that we are since the 70s.
Yeah.
Was already, which is a weird thing to happen.
You think
universally?
like COVID was like that too?
Indeed.
Yeah.
The question would be, why is it that in Ghana and in the U.S. white supremacy skyrocketed in media search terms? There's
okay, we got to something interesting. All right.
arguments that it didn't matter which country you were in, you were starting to use social media, and American-led social media had priorities, and you chased those to make money through the algorithm. Possibility. I mean, that makes sense. Or longer shot probability, less probable, but artificial intelligence is making decisions at a global scale and affecting all of these outlets. I would say this. I have watched an endless number of videos from city halls where the public is screaming no on a variety of issues, be it trans kids or data centers.
Data centers, yeah.
And every single one of these videos, what happens? The city council member.
Ah, yes. People are absolutely protesting outside of city halls against the concept of trans kids in the same way that people are protesting entire towns having their power shut off for data centers. Sorry, Lake Tahoe. Real rough situation.
All say F yourselves, and they tell the people no. Now, this doesn't make sense. There's small towns. There's a couple thousand people living here. 300 people show up and they're screaming, and the city council says, too effing bad. And I'm like, wouldn't they just remove these people? Why don't they?
Right.
It's almost like somehow there's an overarching authority. Now, the simple answer, of course, is the uniparty establishment, actual political figures. But I think there's a decent probability that the military AI is already more advanced than the private sector AI. And I'll throw into the mix the story.
I like how I think what Tim is realizing is that he's so bland and uninteresting that his entire persona can be easily replaced by an AI. Because let's be honest, Timpool's kind of boring. You know, he doesn't even have sauce. He doesn't even have like punch to him these days, you know? Like he laid off everybody. Like he's got like a very you can tell he's kind of in a defeated state. You know what I mean?
Story that we talked about last year where I was sitting on my couch and I was bored, and so I pulled up my my phone. I grabbed one of these AI LLMs.
Yo, what are you about to start talking about, buddy? You were at home, alone, bored. You pull out your phone. What else you pull out, buddy? Ayo? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
And I asked
Right
the question
there.
about military advanced AI, would it be more advanced? And it said it's a reasonable conclusion to make for these reasons. And it estimated between 2008 and 2012 would likely be the point at which the military AI. It made a bunch of interesting points, such as with the emergence of private sector AI, but we know that the US government steals IP and spies on whoever they want. The US government likely would take all of the training data from all these different AIs and instantly have access to a combination of all of them.
Dude.
And so what ends up happening is I ask the AI, I want to help the AI succeed so that I can live in luxury before the end. What should I do? It gave me instructions on where to acquire land to quietly transfer to specific companies and individuals who are real, who I fact checked. It said seek out land in Arizona and Texas and in the Virginia area that has access to a lot of water and large acreage. Then email this man at this company, send him an email that says specifically this. It said go to this, like the government building of each respective area, file this form. And I'm reading this and I'm like, this is pretty crazy. So
is Timpool going to believe that the AI secretly knows that AI knows that AI is the future, and so it tells people to buy land and sell it to developers that want to build data centers? Or does he think it's more likely? I'm curious to see what he's going to say is the case. Does he think it's more likely that the companies that made these AIs program them to find any excuse to message to the people that are using said AI things that would be beneficial to said company? Like if you ask them, are there any scandals around insert company that made this AI? I'm sure the AI would probably have a very tuned response to that question. You know what I mean? Like I'm curious what Timpool's going to think it is. Does the AI know the secret truth, or was the AI programmed to tell you to do this?
I look up the company in question and the individual. Sure enough, there's a guy who's in data center land acquisition, and the company is real. And it said, do not mention anything publicly and do not list any properties publicly, because that will alert the public to the sale, cause price spikes, or alert people who might protest or object to the construction of data centers. So it gave me instructions to privately email a guy it wrote the email out for me to send to them. And then I gave it my address. And I said, I own property here. And it said, you can secure an easy $30 to $300 million if you follow these instructions right now. It then told me who to email, what to say.
Now I'm getting a little skeptical at the idea that Timpool would ever not sell it all for that much money. He absolutely would, and then he'd retire.
And explained that the area where we do this show is in a data center power corridor. Northern Virginia has like a massive gigawatt discrepancy, which is now known to be for its data centers. For a while, they were like, why is it consuming more than 2 times the amount of power a residential neighborhood should? Because there's data centers being built all through the area, and they consume insane amounts of power, which means you need to deliver power to these areas as they expand. So Mount Airy, Maryland is where one of these transmission lines they're trying to build through to get to Northern Virginia, people are protesting. Where we are is also a power corridor where they want to bring transmission lines to get to the data centers. The problem is you don't have one big 50,000 acre property. You have to buy a bunch of small properties piece by piece to create the strip you need, which would be, like 100 yards wide at most for transmission lines. But if they want to secure all around it or the water, they want to buy up bigger acreages. A data center requires around 300 acres. So I said, we've got like 50 plus acres in this area. And it was like, the AI told me, if you fill out this form at the local government, it gave me the address, this will grant you special clearances for the production of AI power-related infrastructure. Then contact this person. It gave me names.
I love this. I love how Timpool is one of the few conservatives that's out here, like, speaking out about why AI is a problem. But we all know the reason why is because Timpool feels as though AI is the reason why his channel has taken a massive dive. I don't think AI is the reason why political content and news content has taken a hit on YouTube, because it's taken a hit across the entire internet. Other forms of entertainment have to a degree as well. It just seems likely that there's been an organic change in people's interests that's kind of hard to pin down, but maybe in the future it'll be easier to kind of describe what happened. But people right now just aren't as into news and politics content. Granted, we're about as far from an election as you can be right now. Like pretty far from the last one, pretty far from the next one at this current stage. So I can see why a lot of people are, tuning out. And then, of course, Tim's got to consider the fact that unless Trump's willing to get real fucking crazy in a way that I don't know if even most Trump supporters would be on board with, this is Trump's last term. The Trump movement's done. Like, sure, like maybe one of the Trump juniors, one of the little chud Trumps, one of Trump's kids, could try to take up the mantle, but it won't be the same. It'll never be the same unless it is literally the dawn. And I think a lot of conservatives know that, and they were on the Trump train, not the conservative train. Important to keep in mind. It's an important distinction.